Hey YouTube, listen. There's a term in church. You hear so many terms in church, but you'll hear people say the devil tried to catch me, but I got away. Okay, so here's what happened to me last night. So here's the devil. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia. After hours and hours and hours of watching politics, of course, I needed to watch something different. So I wound up on Bravo, just kind of channel surfing. And here it was, the first season of season whatever, the first episode of season whatever, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia. So I said, okay, that's the devil. Because I don't want to get trapped in no damn reality TV show. The thing is, if you catch a show from the very first episode, you tend to wonder, okay, I can get into this show now because I'm getting it from the very beginning. But lies. So I came in about the middle of it. So I do want to make a couple observations about these people. I know I will not be reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia season whatever. But my eye, excuse me, people. Is it allergies? I don't know. My eyes always bother me. Okay, so the thing about this now, I guess Sheree Whitfield is back on this show. Now she made a complete fool of herself by when I did watch whatever season it was, 2 or 3 seasons before they fired her, going out there and building this great big old, I don't know what you would call it, mansion, this big old house. She ended up stuck in the middle of the construction where, the rain, they had to cover it all with paper, with plastic, and then come back to it. And then she didn't have the money to get back to it. After going through all of that, trying to build this damn house, and then got fired from her job, Real Housewives, and stuck with this damn lemon now for years, for over 4 years. In this episode that they mentioned about, it hasn't been 5 years. Oh, it was only 4 years. So 4.5 years, let's say. Girl. When I was a kid, there was a term we used to use. Maybe y'all still use it. It was called Negro rich. Now, of course, they used the other word. It was a different word other than Negro. I guess sort of meaning the same thing as Negro. Negro rich. Where these people would, let's say they got a check from somewhere, and let's say they got $1,500. Let's say okay, let's say they got a check for $8,000. So they go out and buy $8,000 car. You know, flashy, always living beyond the means, trying to look good. Now, you would think this woman would want to live within her means now. Now she's going to be soon to be single. I guess she has a son. She said her daughter don't live there. She has what are they going to do, banging around in this great big old huge mansion and things. Particularly when her personality's already shown us that she starts businesses and closes businesses, and she got no track record. She bought an Aston Martin, and then the Aston Martin got repossessed, and it changes from season to season. And she know her stay on that show is tenuous. As a matter, I think the damn show is about played out. Really, they keep trying to come up with all this flashy stuff, but these reality people are doing the same thing they did with these rap singers. They would have these rap singers making these videos. They throwing the money all out over hoes' booties. Excuse me, over ladies' booties. I don't mean to say. I don't like to use that word, but throwing the money all over this caricature of a woman. And they always got the big thing of champagne, and they talk about all the money they got and all this. And then we find out that they don't own nothing. The jewelry is bling bling, is just paste, and then the cars are all rented are owned by the studio, and then the house is owned by the studio. So they don't make a record; they go back to the streets. Basically, is what that was all about. And that's what they do with these reality TV shows. These girls don't need to buy none of these great big old mansions. I understand. I can understand that Atlanta, Georgia, real estate is probably very cheap. Maybe people just routinely live in big houses. You would think you want to live in a big house mainly to raise your kids. The only thing about that show I ever thought was realistic was Cynthia's house. I thought, oh, it's a nice townhouse. She's only her and her daughter there, even when she had the man there. But there's three people in a reasonable sized house. It's very beautiful, very well, designed and all that kind of stuff. But it was reasonable. It fit her income. It fit her, whatever she was able to take out of modeling, whatever, and put it to her home. But building these great big old mansions, and then, okay, usually a house has a 30-year mortgage. Now, is Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia going to be on for 30 years? What happens when they fire her again next year? Or she says something stupid and they throw her off the show? Dumb is Negro rich. Trying to appear to be something that you're not. You're not, you don't, I guess Phaedra can afford, she can have governess, excuse me, her governess and all this kind of stuff. But at least she works. She got a job somewhere. Okay, so I'm jumping around. Okay, so now when I click on there, I'm halfway through, and now Kenya got her ass up in there, so big old fake booty ass up in the house. This gravy go building these houses from the ground up. Is Real Housewives of Atlanta going to be around for even a 20-year mortgage? You got a mortgage. You got to continue to pay that. So at some point, you're going to have to go through the humiliation now of trying to sell these big old houses. You got what you don't need. You ain't got no man. You ain't got no she ain't got no children. I guess her and the dog just going to walk around in every room to keep it busy. I live in a one-bedroom apartment. I'm very rarely in my living room unless somebody's here for company. What the hell you going to need, 16 rooms for by yourself, trying to show out? It's just silly. It's just like those rap video, those videos they used to make. Everybody drove a Rolls Royce or Ferrari and all this old bling bling stuff that nobody owned. Now they're doing with these girls. Except these fools, I guess, are signing their name. Then they had, okay, let me get to another scene. The next one. I could check them all off. Okay, Phaedra with her governess. Then you have Sheree building this huge ass mansion that she's been stuck in trying to build for 4.5 years. She should have just sold the property and wrote off her losses and bought herself a condo or something where she can live in, somewhere she can afford to live when the show fails. Because it's going to fail and nothing goes on forever. Hell, Bonanza only, this time was finite on the air. I don't know. They get the loan, so I guess the bank must some kind of way figure that they can pay for these houses. More than likely because they understand that when they stop paying, the checks stop coming in from Bravo, they take them houses back and then they sell them. There's got to be the thinking. I don't know how they think. They can't act. They can't sing. They can't do anything. So, I mean, how are they going to pay this mortgage for the next 30 years? Or even if it's a 20-year mortgage, which means the payments will be way up there. Anyway, then they show Miss Portia, the violent one. one who drag hoes for real. Candy talk about dragging hoes, but Miss Thing, she really does. She drag. That's when I started watching really, just that reunion show. Well, I said, okay, well, I'm done. You've given me all I need from Real Housewives. With Portia pulled that broad across the stage. By her wig, she was holding the wig on. Kenya was more concerned about that wig not coming off the child. And people really seeing how bald headed she is. They're being hurt. Okay, so the point was, I'm not going to review the show because I'm not going to get into it like that. I'm just going to give you an update on what I think about this reality thing. Okay, so Portia, she pulling up in a Rolls Royce. How many? These girls are on reality TV shows. Now, how they can afford to be riding around in a Rolls Royce, $250,000 car, not the house, the car. How they can be riding around in Rolls Royces, I'll never understand. If that thing is either owned or leased by Bravo, or they rent them for events, but them girls can't afford to be riding around no Rolls Royce. Hell, the average millionaire is struggling to afford a $250,000 car. But they got to give you the bling bling, I guess. I guess we're supposed to believe all this stuff is real. At some point, this show's going to come to an end. These girls are going to end up with these huge mortgages, which they can't afford. They ain't got no income. They don't do anything. They start these businesses, close it. Sheree, she went to, when I was watching way back 5 years ago, something like that, she opened up and closed she had a different career every time she turned the TV on. So there's no history of stability there. Even that woman, Ayana Van Zandt, she had Sheree on. They had made a little. She appeared on her show. I guess she couldn't. The work was not flowing in. She had no job. She was fired from the show. She asked, "Why do you need this for? Who is this house for?" "Oh, it's for my kids. Need it." Your kids don't need no 5 and 6 bedroom home, child. It's for you, your ego. Well, she didn't learn nothing from that. She went on now and comparing these houses. It's just the silliest, most ridiculous thing I ever heard of. Get something that you need. Get something that you can sustain. If you get a check for $10,000, don't take and go and buy a $10,000 car. I mean, that ain't nothing now. I'm just giving you an example. But back in the day when the black folks were not allowed in neighborhoods, all they could really buy were cars. So you go in the ghetto, in the projects even, and you see these big fancy Cadillacs and all that kind of stuff. You got all this bling bling. You got on the $5,000 bracelet, and then you made $5,000 in the last 6 months. So they can't afford all this stuff. It's unnecessary. Why don't you work on the storyline instead of showing us Portia pulling up in Rolls Royces and Kenya when she gets getting her car repossessed 2 years ago? Yeah, I don't know what they're paying these girls, but it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So for her to be building this great big old house, but she ain't gonna keep, it's ridiculous to me. Whatever money they're giving you, you pouring into these houses that you're gonna lose. So everything they're giving Sheree, she pouring into this big old mansion that she cannot possibly live in. She's gonna live in her bathroom, her kitchen, her master bedroom, and she'll come down in the living room when there's something to come down there for. In other words, a photo shoot or she gets some company. Maybe she have a party twice a year, and that's it. All that rest of that house, that's all ego. It is so stupid. When you got a business that is thriving, you can buy a big house, then buy this big old mansion. You don't need that, girl. I think Cynthia's house, beautiful, beautiful townhouse. That's what a single woman would have. Now she is a single woman. They need to change the show from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia, to the Real Divorcees of Atlanta, Georgia. Ain't nobody married. Hell, Candy married. She just got married. Where are all the marriages? They supposed to be housewives. Anybody else know about any housewives? Candy just got married, so she's a housewife now, or she ain't a housewife. She's a breadwinning wife. I don't know. Change the name, Real Divorcees of Atlanta, Georgia. But I'm not being trapped, devil. I know you tried to trick me and say, "Oh, it's the first episode. Oh, you can review this one. Oh, you'll be sitting at your TV waiting for the Real Housewives to come on because now you committed to reviewing it, so you can't have no missing parts in the review. So you have to go in there because people are expecting to hear what you had to say. Hear your review. Oh no, devil." You tried to catch me and I got away. Just like that mortgage gonna get away from Sheree and Kenya. Stop, people. Stop it. Take your money and use it on something that you need, honey. Use that money for something you need. When you leave that show, you ain't got no, I don't know, $10,000, $12,000, $20,000, $15,000 mortgages. And you call up King. Call up the other. What's the other one name? Nene Leakes. Call her and see if she's starting to count them coins now. What she was able to pull out the game since she ain't on the show no more. Call her and ask her about this big house she done acquired. And are they thinking about downsizing? Stop it, people. Stop. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia. Have a good ride. I won't be